This week on Gotta Go, got to go.
Ooh, a bit Coral Scholar vibes. We're getting free power from the 1st of July.
Is doing yoga with goats the greatest of all time?
I have some thoughts on the new Legally Blonde TV show and I have to talk about it.
Why is One Nation so popular all of a sudden?
Plus, should women be paid to have babies?
All this and more on Gotta Go.
Gotta go.
My choral version.
The Sound of Music edition. I wanted to start by just saying you're doing a really great job. And I think you're a really gorgeous mother.
Thank you, B.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You love this little girl so much. I mean, she is so cute.
I'd just been to the shops. She's like, I've also got thoughts on
She's
this.
like, I concur.
I just went to the shops and I have to say we got stopped. We were only there for like 10 minutes. We got stopped a lot for people
Molly's
to
like,
say how
stop
cute
it,
she
guys.
is.
Please keep
Someone
coming
was
with
like,
the
sorry, you
compliments.
must get this all the time. I'm like, I had to
I
pretend
do.
I didn't. No. I'm like, we get it every day.
Well,
Very
it's,
appreciative.
Yeah, it's lucky she's so cute because it keeps you going through the long, grueling nights, doesn't it? You're like, oh,
I mean,
that's
we're
why they
only
make them
up
so
6
cute.
times last night. What are you talking about?
6 times.
6
Oh.
times.
Well, I'm not going to comment on burping or sleep schedules, so here if you need. Here if you need.
Biting her tongue, I can tell.
So, Mol, some good news. You got some for me? Hit me. I need a little hit of good news.
Oh my God. So I saw this cutest thing the other day and it was this lady who takes photos of grandmothers, but she dresses them up as goddesses. So they wear beautiful crowns. She puts them in gorgeous outfits and beautiful backdrops. And it was so lovely. So, you know, it's those photos that you'd keep forever of your grandma.
I know. It made me really wish we'd gotten them with our grandma.
And it's such a simple thing, really. Like,
Yeah, but what I love about it is it's taking the time and the energy to centre older women and like take the effort to do it, right? Because, you know, a lot of women talk about getting older and becoming invisible.
Yes.
Like men don't look at you, women don't look at you, people don't notice you.
Yeah.
You sort of become invisible. And what I loved about this was it was celebrating and heroing, but also, you know, you just chat to any older woman.
oh,
Like the wisdom, the knowledge, the experience. And I feel as a society we often just don't listen to it, have the time, appreciate it. And
It makes
women
me-
of that era, they're so resilient, they're so strong.
they've been through so much.
Yeah.
It makes me sad that the world just, like, in some cultures, you know, the matriarch is put on like this absolute pedestal.
Yeah.
So they should.
Yeah.
And these days it's just,
And a lot of Western cultures, we just don't do that.
no, it's like,
Oh, it's an annoyance. Put them in aged care, like, you know, forgotten about. But something I was thinking the other day, I was having a little reflective moment, actually. I got a bit tearful thinking of our beautiful grandma who we lost in the last year. And I was thinking all the things, she was such a resilient, strong woman. Like, you know, women of that era, they just got on with it, didn't they? Because they didn't really have any other option, let's be honest. But I thought it's a really nice reminder for women of this generation to live for your grandmas in a strange way. Like I just had this moment where I thought I'm going to do it for her.
we can do so much that they couldn't do.
Yeah. And so when you're doubting yourself or, you know, oh, I don't think I can do that. It's like, no, actually everything is an option for you. You can
Yeah.
actually do anything. And it's just if you're struggling to find the strength to do it or the inspiration to do it, just be like, well, do it for your grandma because she couldn't do it. I just thought it was a nice like reframe.
Yeah, I think there's something really special in that as well, in the sense of, you know, sometimes we can doubt ourselves so much, but when you put another lens on it, so you're doing it for your daughter, you're doing it for your best friend, you're doing it for your grandmother, all of a sudden this self-doubt we had melts away. Like I know, again, talking about like investing, I'm like, learn to invest for your daughter. People are like, oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
but
makes
at the
takes
same
it off you.
time,
Yeah.
they're learning it for themselves as well. But it seems to give people, these women, the permission to then go, I can do this. Because it's not
that's
for
really
me.
interesting.
Same with salary negotiation. You're like, you're doing it for your family. You're doing it for, you know, you're getting this pay rise for your family, not just for you. And when you put a different lens on it, you're like, actually, I need this.
I love that. I love that. Also, it just blows my mind. Like I was talking to a girlfriend the other day who's just given birth for the second time after, you know, a really, really long attempt to fall pregnant, lots of miscarriages. Like her body has been through so much over 2 years. And I just thought, isn't it wild that women can go through that experience, grow a human, birth them out your vagina and then like doubt your capability to do some like lame job, like whatever. Like I'm like, if you can do that, you can do anything. And
Literally.
even if you don't have children, like the fact that you as a woman have the capability to do that,
Yeah.
I just think we doubt ourselves so much. We denigrate ourselves so much. We don't put ourselves forward for things.
Yeah.
And it's just like, just remind yourself of what women are capable of. You can do anything.
Yeah. And honestly, at the end of the day, you don't have time to doubt yourself. Just get on. Like, we've just got to get on with it. Because if we spend too much time doubting ourselves, we're going to miss out on the opportunity. Men aren't there doubting themselves. They're just doing it.
No, I know. And also, I like that thing that you said about women. It's like, with investing, like, well, it's not for you, do it for your daughter. Like, wouldn't that be an amazing thing to teach your daughter? It's also just,
or your niece. Like,
Yeah.
again, if it's not your daughter, your niece or your best friend's daughter.
Yeah, or your sons, you know.
Or your sons.
but also, I just think, what value do you bring to the world? Like, you sitting there beating yourself up, being harsh on yourself, criticizing how you look. It's not helping anyone.
No.
It's not helping the world. Like, there are so many problems and issues to deal with. Like, you're actually just zapping energy, wasting time. So just, it's not always easy, but it's a good snap out of it.
Good
Like, come on.
reframe. Good reframe.
Bit of good news that I wanted to share with everyone.
Oh.
We've talked about it on the pod before, but coming into effect on the 1st of July, if you live in New South Wales, South Australia or Southeast Queensland, where we live, you're going to get 3 hours of free power every single day.
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
Yeah. What this is a really good opportunity to do is, like, any of your expensive items to run, your dishwashers, your washing machines, your air conditionings, your
Dryers,
heaters,
very
your
energy intensive.
charge your car, you can do this all within that 3 hours. A lot of our appliances now let us put timers on, so we can actually time these things if we're not at home as well. This one lady, I put this on my Instagram, and she wrote back going, classic, they do it while in the middle of the day while everyone's at work. And I was like, well, that's also when the sun is the hottest and there's
There's an abundance of
solar. So they're not really doing it just to kind of go, haha, you can't use this. So yeah, obviously that is why they're doing it, because there is an abundance of energy.
Totally. And yeah, look, trickier if you don't work from home, but a lot of people do now. But also, as you said, just about every modern appliance now, has a timer function, but also you can buy a plug that is a timer.
Oh, wow.
Did you know that? So you can plug your appliance into a timer and then you set the timer on it. So for example, at home we have a heated towel rail, but if I turn it on, I'm never going to remember to turn it off. It's going to be on for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So we just have a little timer on it now, and it turns on every day between 12 and 2.
Oh, wow.
And dries our towels and then turns off, and I never have to think about it again. So, and we have it for our dehumidifier as well, which we have in our wardrobe, because where we live can be quite damp.
Yeah.
All our clothes get moldy. Once again, I could never remember to turn it off and turn the bloody thing on at the right time.
Yeah.
It just on a timer every day. So even if your appliances can't do that, you can whack a timer on it. So yeah, if you can, and it's been a real mindset shift for me.
Yeah.
Because I just like to run the washing machine at night. I like to do the dishwasher at night, so I feel set up in the morning and I can just, get things underway. So it's been a shift, but you can actually do it. So now we have just changed the habit where we do run those things in the middle of the day now anyway. So it's going to be even better when it's free power also.
Yeah.
But for our house now, it means, like you said, we're going to be able to charge our battery fully. We're going... So even if we don't have enough solar...
Does that mean you'll stop using mine?
No. Every time we come record the podcast, I plug my Tesla in and charge up on Molly's free battery power. It's free for me. But yeah, so
for you, yes.
It's going to be even better, because right now we have a battery, we have an electric vehicle, so we are trying to charge up and use as much power during those solar windows anyway. But now we'll be able to fully charge up our battery, charge up our car, even if it's not sunny where we are on that day. And then we'll have our solar, importing as well. So what I love about this the most, though, is that if you are a renter or you can't afford solar panels right now, or, you're not in a position to get them put on your house, you're going to be able to benefit from the cheap, free, abundant power at that time of day. Yeah. And the reason the government's doing this is we actually have so much solar power at that time of day, they cannot get rid of it fast enough. And you actually need to get it out of the grid. Like, it destabilizes the grid if you've suddenly got too much power charging in. They have to turn it off. And so they're like, rather than turn it off, let's just give it away to people for free. I think it's a really great policy to help everyone save money on their power bills and benefit from cheap renewables.
But also what I didn't realise was there's already plans out there that include this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my neighbor is already with a provider called Glowbird. She gets 3 hours of free power a day. There's an amazing company called Amber Electric. You can actually get paid to use power at certain times of day. So like you could get paid to charge your EV because once again, at a certain point of day, the electricity price actually goes negative because they need to get rid of it.
Whoa.
So it's crazy. You're like, I'm running my dishwasher, I'm charging up my car, and I'm getting paid to do it. It's
Which is the
bonkers.
good news story we need in a cost of living crisis. So my girlfriend sent me a video of goat yoga, baby goat yoga, because she listened to our goat episode. And we're talking about an actual animal farm goat
episode
here, not greatest of all time. Because my goat was definitely not a goat. She was definitely not the greatest of all time.
Just for context,
goat ever.
Molly had a pet goat. Her name was Lulu, or Lulu as we called her.
Yeah.
And she was a psycho.
Yeah, and hated me. Anyway, so she was like, look, you can do baby goat yoga. So you do a yoga class and you have these baby goats jumping all over you. And at first I was like, oh my God.
You were like, let's do this.
I was like, let's go. And then I thought about it for a little bit longer and I was like, ouch. Also, I don't know about the ethics of this.
My first thought was like, it looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
But these goats in the video, we'll link it here, are literally jumping from back to back. They have hoofs. Like imagine just being like getting a hoof to the eyeball as you're doing your downward dog. Like,
and
not
then
cool.
you see a girlfriend the next day and they're like, what happened to your eye? And you're like, a baby goat stepped on me. And
while I was doing yoga.
And you're like, I've got so many questions. But they're doing this as well. They've got puppy yoga, they've got goat yoga. And yeah, I mean, puppy yoga, I think it looks ridiculously cute. Again, I don't know where it sits on the ethics.
Look, I have come to have a bit of a theory from a few bad experiences. But when you're traveling overseas, I now have a rule that I don't do anything that involves animals.
Yeah.
Because generally, like if it's tourism and there are animals at the core of it, unless it's something like, you know, you're on safari and you're looking at animals from a distance, I have found that it always just feels a bit ick and I'm like, the animals seem stressed. Yeah. Like I once, you know, I was young, don't judge me, but, you know, I was traveling South Africa with a boyfriend and he's like, oh, we've got to do this like go to this ostrich farm. Next minute, before I even know what's happening, I'm being like put on a saddle on the back of this ostrich. These ostriches are like flying around. They are so stressed, like to the point where I was like, let me off this poor bird. Like, one, this is terrifying. The birds were stressed out. Like they had bags over their heads and then they'd pull them off and like go. And
what, did you fall off the ostrich? Like, was it like how long could you stay on the ostrich?
Yeah, literally. And you're just like clinging around its neck. I'm freaked out. It's freaked out. I'm like, this is awful. And from that point on, I was like, okay, things involving animals, bad, bad, bad.
I mean, I thought you were going to say a different kind of animal. I did not think we were going to go to ostrich. I did not know
it was like
story.
I was like, felt like I was in a cartoon.
It would have looked like it.
It did. It was ridiculous.
And
you know, the people are there getting the photos and it's funny. I'm like, this is actually awful. I will say I did do something another time when I went to Bali and there was like dive with the manta rays. And once again, I thought, oh, that'll be good. You'll just be in the water and they'll be, but it was awful. There were like all these boats. People are like swarming in on these manta rays. The manta rays are fleeing. Like they looked really stressed. Yeah. I'm like, once again, I'm like, there's just not enough regulation here. There's no one's like limiting the amount of boats. It was just a free for all. I was like, this is bad.
Why I didn't swim with the whale sharks in the Philippines, because I looked at the ethics and everyone was just like, no, because they're overfeeding them. They're not doing their proper migration because they're just wanting to stay where all the food is.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm out.
The flip side of that is, I will say, one of the best things I've ever done in my life was my best friend, Nikki. They took us on a minke whale diving trip out of far north Queensland. Very different. There are only like a set number of boats that can get a license to go do the diving with the whales. You're not allowed to approach the whale. You can't move even in the direction towards it. It's like extremely strict about the guidelines for it. So in that kind of setting where there's really good regulation, it's really well monitored, that's where I'm okay with it. But I just think particularly when you're traveling in a developing country, the animals are never having a good time.
Although there is this one thing in Vietnam that I would love to try, and it's called being the duck leader. And so you go to this duck farm and you can pay like $5 and you feed the ducks, and then the ducks will follow you around, and so you get to be the duck leader for 5 minutes and you have all these ducks just following you around the farm. It looks very funny. No?
Well, you know,
We'll link it. It's hilarious.
maybe it's just about sussing it out when you get there. If they're a farmed animal and they're there and they're having a good time, maybe it's okay. But yeah. Anyway, I don't think I'll be doing goat yoga anytime soon. Also, because I'm really worried about getting a black eye from a little cute little hoof going in.
Yeah. Why do you have a long-term back injury?
This one
Long
time.
story.
Molly, I was just reflecting on a moment that I'm sure you experience from time to time. One of the most frustrating, like at the moment, things are just going missing in our house all the time.
Sorry, Bryony, I'm still picturing you riding an ostrich and I can't get over it. Just like,
It was hectic.
get me off this ostrich.
Don't recommend. Negative 5-star review for the ostrich also.
Good one.
So in our house at the moment, lots of things go missing.
Yeah.
Because we've got little hands, you know, things just end up in
Slippery little
interesting-
fingers.
Slippery little fingers.
Greasy little
Normally
hands.
covered in porridge or a little bit of something rather. Sticky little fingers.
Please, Mum, can I have some more?
This week our remote's gone completely missing, our remote control.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened at Mum's house the other day. She let Charlie watch a little episode of something and then he actually hid the remote because he didn't want her to turn it off. And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, oh, this is our first like proper like a bit of, you know, duplicitous behaviour here.
My girlfriend, her little nephew used to do that. Would hide her shoes so she couldn't leave.
Oh,
Isn't that
cute.
adorable? But this
She's
one's
like, I'm going out barefoot today.
yeah. Okay,
So now our remote's gone missing. So suspect number one, my firstborn, cannot
if
find
I
it anywhere.
had to put money on someone, Charlie.
We have lifted up, you know, we've gone through everything. We have undone the couch 7 times over. Even Charlie's like lifting up the couch at night going, where's the remote? So what I didn't realise though is you can download an app called a remote. And I've just got an app on my phone now, but it's pretty funny because I'm on the free version, so it won't let you turn it off. You got to pay to upgrade, and because I'm a tight ass, I'm like, no, I'm not. Molly won't like me going on another subscription. So you can change channels, you can like navigate around it. So I suppose you need a smart TV for it to work, but I have to get up to turn it off and on. So if it gets to the end of an episode though, you know, if we're watching a 7-minute bluey, you got to then jump up and turn it off before the next one starts.
Well,
because it just starts dramas.
it's not like the TV's that far away from you. It did probably take you 2 seconds.
No, but when you got a child sitting on you and you're brushing their teeth, then you know it's a scenario. Anyway, so
how much is it to upgrade, by the way?
Well, it's like $1 a week or something, which just feels a bit much for something I don't actually need.
Daytime robbery.
I just like want my remote. Plus, I'll be on it for the rest of my life because I'll never remember to cancel it. So, anyway, but handy to know. I don't know if you knew you could just have a remote app on your phone.
Cold remote.
Just like there's a million of them. Okay. Just Google.
I didn't know that was a
TV
thing.
remote.
That's great.
The other thing that goes missing a lot is my glasses.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking it's one of the most frustrating moments in life when you don't have your glasses.
Yeah.
And you're looking for your glasses. People that need glasses will relate to this content.
Well, mine is really annoying because they're clear. And
so they're really hard to find.
Yours are bright pink, Brownie.
Yeah, mine are bright blue.
And blue. Oh, no, we lost the bright pink ones.
Yeah, we lost the bright pink ones. Molly's like, thank God. That you strongly... Remember when I bought those that day? I tried them on. I'm like, what do you think? You're like, absolutely not.
And you're like, I've already ordered them. And I'm like, they're great.
Why are you asking my opinion then?
Yeah.
But it got me thinking about how, you know, those moments you have in life where you're like, oh, I'm becoming my mother.
Yeah.
And like, I love my mother. So that's a good thing for me. I don't mind. But you just have that moment.
Easy save there, Bri.
Yeah, because she will be listening.
Hi, Mummy.
Hi, Mum. Love you. But, you know, when we were growing up and Mum would like always have her sunnies on in the supermarket, for example, just looking very rich and famous or hungover, it's because they're her prescription sunnies.
Yeah.
I am now that person. I just wear my sunnies inside all the time.
I'm same.
And
Cinema.
also cinema. Yeah, cinema. I remember going to uni lectures and I'd have my sunnies on and people were like, are you just like too cool? What's going on? Are you hungover? And I'm like, no, I can't
I was talking about this the other day in a meeting. And I had my sunnies on. I was like, Exhibit A, I can't find my glasses.
Zoom. I know you do. You come to a lot of our pre-production meetings. You're like, I'm just wearing. I remember my first Zoom meeting back when I had first had a baby. Yeah. So I had Charlie. I was breastfeeding. I couldn't find my top and I couldn't find my glasses. Luckily it was with someone like who I know professionally as well as personally. And I was like, I'm really sorry. And I just had my sunnies on, boobs out. I'm like, Sorry, this is just how I am today. Sorry.
Wow.
I used to play touch footy when I was in Sydney, and it was always just like at just dusk.
Yeah.
And so I'd often have to play in my sunnies, and it's getting quite dark. And there were some girls on the opposing team, and they were just like having a little bitch about me, apparently. And they're like, oh my God, who does she think she is? Like running around in her sunnies. Who wears their sunnies at touch? And my friend Cordelia overheard it, and she turned around and she's like, they're prescription. And I was like, thanks, Dilly.
Remember that time you got robbed though?
Oh, yeah. And I didn't have my glasses on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd just come home and I was in a share house at the time, heard
times.
some movement in the kitchen, turned around and there's just a man there trying to steal stuff out of our kitchen. Like he's trying to get our wireless modem. Like, cool. Good luck with selling that for $2 on Marketplace. But I didn't know what was happening other than it wasn't a housemate. I turned around and just screamed, get out. And he dived out the window with my handbag, and then as he took off in his car, because once again I still didn't have my glasses on, I remember just like squinting and pulling the skin on the side of my eyes and like,
laser you down.
I know. And I just hope that as he saw me in the rear vision mirror, he's like, is she a superhero that's about to laser beam me?
The funniest part about that whole situation was when the police came over.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, what was he
wearing? And I pointed to a hat. I was like, he's wearing a hat like that. And they started laughing and I'm like, what? Once again, still didn't have my bloody glasses on. It was a pirate hat. And they're like, oh, was he a pirate thief?
Yeah. I remember Specsavers did this whole ad campaign once about like, you know, going to the wrong place or doing the wrong thing because you couldn't see properly. And I was like, relatable content.
When I was at uni, I was complaining about being blind and I was like, oh, it's so hard being blind. And awkwardly, I had an actual blind friend who was incredible, still one of the most impressive human beings I've ever met. And she's like, really, Bryony? And I was like, I'm so sorry. That was a shocking thing to say. And she was very good about it. But it was like a great little gentle reminder of like,
such a legend.
You have terrible eyesight, but it's pretty freaking good in the scheme of things.
I remember being at a bar with her and she had some good
Oh,
one-liners.
she was so funny.
She was
Amanda,
like,
shout out.
Yeah, she was like, I'm blind drunk. And I'm like, good one.
Yeah. Well, she took someone home one night who was like as in she helped them get home.
Yeah.
Because he was so drunk. And she said to me the next day, oh, Bryony, it was like the blind leading the blind. I was like, you are amazing. Also, she like topped our year in law. Yeah. And I'm like, you were doing that. Like reading case law in Braille, like the amount of reading you have to do in law. And she was just like, she was such an incredibly impressive human being. Yeah, very proud to know her. There is a Legally Blonde TV series coming out on the 1st of July.
I object.
I object. And I want to know everything that you think about it. So the trailer's out, but it hasn't landed yet. Like, how are you feeling about it? Because you are a big Reese Witherspoon fan.
I'm a big Legally Blonde
I feel like Legally Blonde was like half your personality in high school.
I dressed up with her as her multiple times for multiple events.
And Molly's like, I'll say it because you won't. You're like, Molly loves when people mistake her for Reese Witherspoon. Or like, you look so like, do people ever tell you look like Reese Witherspoon? She's like, yes, all the time.
I'm a little underwhelmed by the trailer.
Same.
I was like, did this need to be a TV show? I don't know.
I mean, I get why they've done it. It's smart because you've already got an inbuilt fan base.
Yeah.
Like, I get why they keep coming back and doing this. You know, it's like, let's just rehash an old
Harry
idea.
Potter into a TV show.
No, I am excited about that, I have to say.
Oh, see, I'm just like, when do we just start creating new stuff?
Yeah. I'm going to say, from watching the trailer, I'm not into it. I'm not excited. Yeah. But I also think Reese Witherspoon, such hard shoes to fill.
I know.
Like, who's gonna be better at Legally Blonde?
Is it a Hello
than
Sunshine
she is?
production?
Yeah, I think it's one of her productions. And like, they're very much like the premieres underway at the moment. Like, it's all over Instagram. There's different influencers making Legally Blonde content. It's got a bit of a Barbie vibe feel going on. You know, it's all the pink and the whatever. Like, it's commercially, I think it's probably very smart. Yeah. But yeah, did it need to be made?
I guess as well, like we're millennials now, there's a whole generation that kind of grew up without Legally Blonde.
Yeah.
So maybe for that age group.
I'm fully into all the content Reese Witherspoon's making about it though. She's like, you know, FaceTiming all the old cast members and they're getting them back together for the premiere. And so I'm into that. And I'll probably watch it, let's be honest. But I'm going in with low expectations and then we can tit-tat on it next week.
I've started watching Off Campus.
Oh, yes, and will I like it?
Yes and no.
Oh.
It's got a nice little like love story. I think it's a little bit like,
Too lame? Too
yeah,
woke?
just a
What?
tiny bit lame. You're like,
Okay.
would people do that? Would people be that lame?
Okay.
So I would give it
What's lame? Like, what's lame about it?
just like a couple of the characters. You're like, you just wouldn't be like that in real life.
Yeah. But
That's
like every
just-
show's like that,
That's
really,
just a
isn't
bit
it?
cringe. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And just like, I feel like tweaks, they should have come to me for tweaks.
Yeah, yeah.
But in saying that, it's highly successful. It's like dominating on Prime at the moment. And it's definitely worth a little binge if you want something where
Okay,
you don't
I'm
have
in the
to
market
think.
for something.
Yeah, well, tell me, you can have a look and let me know what you think. It's classic, like, creative girl, like the popular sports guy.
Yeah.
That
All that
vibe.
American crap we grew up watching and loving.
Yeah.
So far removed from our life, you
Yeah.
know, at a high school on the Gold Coast. But, okay, so remember a few episodes ago I said, I am going to get in on this fairy porn trend that seems
have
every woman in the
you
world.
started
So I ordered
reading?
the first book in that Crown of Court, whatever
Yeah.
thorn thing.
Yeah.
And I've got to say I'm in.
Okay.
Like but I'm 100 pages in. A lot of
Okay.
fairy, no porn yet. I'm like, come on.
It comes later.
They're really making me work for it.
It comes a
I
little
hope the
bit.
build-up's worth it.
Brandy, it doesn't just happen. You got to build character. You got to
Yeah, I
build storyline.
know.
You've got to build the tension.
But I just thought the fairy smut would be a bit more smutty. It's a lot of fairy, light on the smut right now. There's just some tension building. I'm like, okay. So anyway, I'll report back. So Mol, an article I came across this week that I was really grabbed by.
Ooh,
Grabbed by.
It
Yeah.
grabbed you.
This piece was basically about pregnancy as work and it should be treated as such.
Yeah.
And it was basically making a case for should women be paid to be pregnant. So we get maternity leave now, like
Yeah.
26 weeks in Australia.
Yes,
Great.
great.
Still way
Happy
below
days.
what, best gold standard is around the world, but we get something. That's good. This was making the case that it's actually civic duty.
Yeah.
We've got a declining birth rate.
Yep.
We need women to have children
Yeah.
for the good of the economy, for the good of the nation,
Yeah.
to look after, if we have not enough babies
Yeah.
and too many old people, we don't have enough people paying taxes to support
Yes.
the older
Yeah.
people, etc. So it's actually really important work. But the way it laid it out in this article, I had never thought about it before. They said, imagine that it was flipped.
Yeah.
And that men, there'd been some advancing technology where men could do this tissue donation thing
Yeah.
that would help the elderly, right? And like prolong life. So they were like, it would be unpaid. It was a voluntary program they had to sign up for. It would be 9 months, let's be honest, 10 months, because being pregnant is 10 months. But the side effects could include nausea, migraines, vomiting, back pain, all the myriad of things that happen to you when you're pregnant. But also, in
High
the
blood
worst case
pressure, blood
scenarios,
nose, yeah.
death. There are like 24 women die in Australia every year through childbirth. So, and they're like, and then, they're just expected to do it for free. And then they might have lifelong consequences of doing it. Like, no one would sign up for it. No one would do it. So anyway, I was just really interested by this article.
Yeah.
Like, should women be paid to have babies?
Well, is that what the baby bonus was?
Well, we did have a baby bonus for a time, didn't we? Where I think you got like $5,000 per baby that you were given. It was like a cash payment. Don't know if that's like world best practice in terms of
No.
policy, because
Yeah, I think people were getting that money thinking very short term because a baby is obviously a huge amount of money. It's not 5K.
yeah,
people
but it was like a
were-
little incentive to help families and help women.
So I know in South Korea, the government and private corporations are actually paying their women to have babies because the birth rate is declining. And some firms are offering to pay their workers $75,000 each time they have a baby. And the benefit is available to both men and women.
Because I know for me, I was incredibly nauseous from week 6
Yeah,
to
same.
14.
Yeah.
And during that time, you still have to work. Generally, you don't tell people that you're pregnant because, there's the kind of an unwritten rule that you don't tell people till 14 weeks, et cetera, et cetera. And so it's a really challenging time for women where you're expected to work, not tell anyone, just like grin and bear the nausea. I remember I would be going into work. Luckily, I worked in like a, pretty cool workplace, but I would just like pass out under my table for an hour. And people were like, is she all right? I was like, oh, yeah, just a bit tired at the moment. But a lot of people can't do that in their workplaces.
No, and I used to think, because I obviously work for myself, I used to be in bed like feeling so sick. I'd be on anti-nausea tablets. I'd need constant naps throughout the day because I'm so exhausted. And all I could think of was like, there's women who have to go to work feeling like this.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like we're supporting women on that journey at all.
Yeah, and not only
It's
that.
like, welcome to the first step of what's going to be a really tough journey, because it could be easier.
But also that the flip end, the other end of the pregnancy, where women are working right up until birth. Like most women I know work up to like 38, 39, 40 weeks, because you want to maximize how much time you can take off when the baby comes.
Yeah.
And it just got me thinking, like, I still think we just need to do a lot more to support women at this phase.
Yeah.
Because we want women to have babies. But yeah, anyway, so it was just a really interesting article where flipping it and putting it on the man, I was like, that would be outrageous to expect men to 10 months, voluntary, all these risks, possible death.
But with women,
But with women, it's like, oh yeah,
expected.
just grin and bear it.
It doesn't feel right.
I mean, the other thing is, think about, like, you've got a friend who was violently ill from day one to the end of her pregnancy.
Oh, horrendous.
And I think absolutely women that are in that category should be able to, take leave, access some kind of payment. Like, how on earth are you expected to work when you were vomiting up your guts all day, every day?
I look at myself and I was able to have babies naturally. I look at my girlfriend who has not. She's had to go through IVF through no fault of her own. She's now had to spend tens of thousands of dollars going through this process to have kids. I just feel like that's something the government should be footing the bill for.
Totally. I think also just removing the stigma around doing egg freezing.
Yeah.
I know for me, I obviously had to do it. I was forced to do it when I had to start chemo, and I was given a 2-week period to do it. But in that time, I was like, I am a 31-year-old woman, like of childbearing age, but I've never seriously thought about doing this, and I probably should have by this point. I wasn't in a serious long-term relationship. I didn't have immediate plans to have kids. And I remember another girlfriend at the time, after I went through cancer, going, I'm going to freeze my eggs as well, but I feel a lot of shame around it and I feel really embarrassed about it. And I was saying to her, well, we need to get rid of that straight away, because actually it's really smart, and if you can afford to do it, it's a fantastic backup thing that you may not have to use it, but for me it was extremely comforting then, knowing they were there, not just because I was going through cancer, but knowing I didn't have to then rush to meet someone and settle for whatever random bloke walked past next to have a baby with, because I think a lot of women feel that pressure, and this actually, if you can relieve that pressure, relieve that time constraint, once again, I just think we want women to be having babies. They're under huge pressure, time pressure that men don't have. So let's support them.
Yeah, and I guess when I froze my eggs, I was 35 years old. I was very public with it. So I was on ABC talking about it. I also did an article for the AFR, but I was trying to encourage as many women to think about it, to even have the conversation.
Yeah.
Because, again, I was very much influenced by you doing it. But I got to 35, a relationship I was in ended, and I remember being like, I'm so glad I'm still going through this process, because I was going to be like, no, maybe I'll just pause in case, this is right. But I was like, no, I'm just going to keep going through with it. And so having my eggs frozen, this really weird thing happened in my head. I was holding on to stress about it. I didn't even realize. And the moment I froze my eggs, I just felt this sense of calm and a little bit more relief. And then when I went into my next relationship, it wasn't this panic.
It just takes the pressure off.
I need to have, I still wanted to have them quite quickly, but not like I'm going to settle for anything.
Yeah, totally.
Because I don't want to miss out on this opportunity.
It's so important. I just think it's so important for women.
This is where I think I don't know if is it more female politicians in parliament? Like,
yes,
what is
always
it?
The answer is yes.
But how do we then go? I know there's groups like working towards trying to change this, because it just seems like it is a freaking uphill battle the whole way from having, getting pregnant. That can be just it can be dreamy for some, horrendous for others. And then you have the child, and then you support that child, and then you have to choose whether you take a career, put your career on hold, or you put your children into daycare. And then it seems to be just like this real uphill battle for women.
Yeah, it is. And I think ultimately, and what a lot of Scandinavian countries that do this really well, what they appreciate is 0 to 5 are the most critical years in a child's life. And I think in some Western countries, we just think like, oh yeah, once they're teenagers, we'll start worrying about it or thinking about it. Like 0 to 5 is when all the brain development happens. It's when all the neural pathways are being laid down, the attachment. And we know like the more time a child can have with a primary caregiver, the happier that primary caregiver is. Like, and that's where I feel like Scandinavian countries, they know this. They know that the actual outcome of the entire society, like the benefits flow to the entire community and society when you support women and children. So what is good for women and children in those first 5 years is actually good for everyone. But we kind of compartmentalize it here, I feel like, and in other places. We're getting better, but there's so much more we could do.
So much more. I think that's the thing. There's so much more that needs to be done in this situation to support women.
So, Mole, you'd have to be living under a rock to not have noticed that Pauline Hanson and One Nation are kind of on the rise in Australia.
Yeah, so I did hear that they are like the most popular they've ever been at the moment.
Yeah, and they've actually, in current polling, they've overtaken the Liberals and now they've overtaken Labor. So we are looking at a reality where Pauline Hanson could be on track to be Prime Minister or Leader of the Opposition, which is kind of a crazy turnaround in a very short period of time. And all year I've just been thinking to myself, how has this happened so quickly? Like this is unprecedented.
Yeah.
Because at the last federal election, they got like 6% of the vote nationally.
Yeah.
So they've gone from that to like over 30%, like to be on track to form government. It just seems insane. And I saw this really interesting article on the ABC this week that is an investigation the ABC have done where they are uncovering these crazy Facebook pages that are just flooding the zone with AI generated imagery of Pauline Hanson, of Gina Reinhart, Peter Credlin as well, who's like a Sky News commentator and used to be Tony Abbott's chief of staff. But like literally photos of Pauline Hanson handing out these fake novelty checks in cancer wards. And like there was this one picture of Pauline Hanson with her high school janitor and it literally says janitor, but it's spelt it wrong. It's like her high school janists. And we don't even have janitors in Australia. So clearly this is fake news. But these articles are getting crazy traction and hundreds of shares.
Whoa.
And so they're like, where are these pages coming from? They all seem to originate out of Vietnam. This random Vietnamese guy who's linked to this other fake news site. So clearly there is mega money being funded into getting all this fake news out there about how amazing One Nation are and Pauline Hanson, and then like a lot of fake news about the current government, a lot of mentions of Anthony Albanese. There were even like some stories of like Pauline Hanson when she was dying of cancer, like
what?
Yeah, and then her with her mother dying of cancer,
completely
like all these
fake, made up,
all fake news, but all AI generated imagery.
Whoa!
So because something weird is underway, right? Like how can you have, this is the craziest turnaround in a short time frame. And people say, but there's a cost of living crisis. And she's like saying what people think. I'm like, there's something more underfoot. And this is really interesting.
Well, they're saying it's the meddling is what really moved the US election as well. Like there was all this huge amount of like meddling.
Misinformation, fake news. And I think what is really scary is people are already falling for it.
Yeah.
And the AI is not even that good. Like I'm looking at these images and I can clearly tell that this is AI generated. But we are not far off that you would not be able to tell something is not real. So it's pretty scary, I think, the consequences it has.
I want to know, B, where do they sit on the gas tax?
It's confusing for people because they did come out very strongly saying tax the gas, we should get a fair share. But they actually are not going to tax the gas. They voted against it when it was put up in the Senate, and they have now categorically ruled out that they will not be taxing gas. They have instead put forward a different policy. So they want to get rid of the petroleum resource rent tax and put a flat royalty on production and allow the Commonwealth to buy an equity stake in future drilling projects. I think it is important to mention that they have explicitly said this is about opening up more gas exploration, killing net zero, doing as much drilling and getting as much gas as possible.
I saw they wanted to pull out, one of the things they wanted to do immediately was pull out of the Paris Agreement.
But yeah, so I think it's important if you do want to vote for One Nation, sure, that's your prerogative, vote for them. But if you think it's because they are going to introduce this gas tax, that is not the case.
Yeah.
They're going to put a flat royalty, but and the other thing is they've put out these policies, but it is very hard to get any information as to what that would actually generate, what it would mean, other than knowing that it is going to mean taxpayer funds being given to gas companies to do more exploration and ultimately try and drill and mine for more gas. So Mel, what's going to go this week?
Do you know when you go to a restaurant and there's a waiter and they're like, oh, I'm just going to remember the order, and you're like, are you sure you don't want to write it down?
You get so annoyed with them.
I do, because I always get it wrong.
Yeah.
They're like, no, I'll just remember it. And I'm like, there's like 10 orders here. And they always stuff something up.
Always,
and I'm like,
without fail. Just
write
about.
it down. Well, I think baby brain, I've got the similar experience at the moment, especially for our gotta goes. I'm always like, I don't need to write it down because I'll remember it.
It's so good. I'll just
I'm
remember
like,
it.
so great, never remember it. And I'm like, oh my God. So now I just have notes section on my phone. I
I'm
always
100% the same.
write it down.
My gotta go is small labels on everything.
Oh, yeah.
So like shampoo and conditioner, for example.
Yeah.
Like the last thing you need to be doing, especially when you have bad eyesight like me, you're in the shower, can't tell what's the shampoo, can't tell what's the conditioner. You're like squinting, trying to hold it
Or
up
it's
close.
in like fancy French language and you're like, just give it to me in English.
Yeah. Or like on our baby monitor, the on and the off, so tiny. You can never tell like what's on, what's off. Like, is it broke? Like, just make it big, put it bold.
Yeah.
Make it a color. Like,
Social media posts, make it big. Big text.
Also, I won't say who, but a friend of a friend the other day accidentally gave their child 3 times the Panadol dose because you're looking at the tiny, tiny print and they got the kilos and the mils mixed up.
Yeah.
So turns out the baby was okay. They just had to not give them any more Panadol in the 24-hour period, but just make it bigger.
Maybe you just need to shower with a magnifying glass.
Yeah, that sounds super convenient.
It's like, let me check.
Just get it out of my handbag and
It's like what are they? The monocles.
yeah, I need a monocle.
Like from Baba.
Maybe that's why they had monocles back in the day.
Honestly, maybe we need to bring back monocles.
Bring back the monocles.
The ultimate fashion accessory.
Well, Mo, it's our last week recording in this space because you're going overseas.
I am. Next time we connect, I'm going to be coming from an exotic location.
Yeah, where will you be?
Perth, actually. I'm going to be in Perth. So I think.
Next
and
week's
then
ep
I'm
coming from
going to Bali and then Thailand.
Have a great time. Be safe. What does Mum always say when we travel? What's her
Look
number
for
one
your
travel?
exits. Whenever you're in a hotel, always look for the exits.
Yeah, she literally makes us, before you go to bed at night, check the exits, work out which direction, because she's like, if there's a fire in the middle of the night,
Yeah.
you're not going to know where to go. It is actually great travel advice.
It is. And always be in 7 rows from an exit on the plane.
Yeah.
Don't know if I'm going to be sticking to that one.
She's watched a lot of air crash investigation.
I know. Thanks, Mum. Always looking out for us.
I know. Great tips from Didi. Well, good luck. Safe travel.
See you online.
Got to go overseas.
Got to go fly. Got to go jet set out of here.